upon your health. And wonder why the world is so weak. Remember the Rothschilds and their easy plan. Take your money and put their plan. We're not going to take it. This is the end. It's time to fight back. It's time to take our gold back. End
And the Fed. It's like the most important part. Without ending the Fed, the rest of this stuff is all just nonsense. And we are live, folks. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Impact Money Show, coming to you live from Soggy, Washington, D.C. It's Monday, April 7th, 2025. And I'm your host, ready to dive into the wild world of money, market, and mayhem. Let's start with the weather here in the nation capital. It's a dreary 51 degrees out there with rain falling at a 60% clip. Humidity is sticky, 79%, and the wind is blowing at 8 miles an hour. Basically, it's the kind of day that makes you want to stay inside with a cup of coffee and watch the markets implode, which, spoiler alert, they're doing quite nicely already. So grab your umbrellas in your portfolio because we've got a storm of a show ahead. Before we get into the meat of it, I've got some exciting news for our community. If you're planning to join us at Bitcoin 2025, happening May 27 through 29, we've secured a special discount just for you. Use the code IMPACTMONEY, all one word, to snag a 10% discount on your tickets. And that's not all. We're gearing up for Bitcoin Palooza Las Vegas on the evening of May 27th. The venue's locked down, and we're onboarding advertisers, sponsors, musical acts, fashion shows, models, and artists to make the night to remember. So mark your calendars, folks. It's going to be a crypto party for the ages. Now let's talk about what's happened out there in the financial jungle, because it is a jungle on fire right now. The news cycle is heating up faster than a microwave burrito, and it's only 6:21 in the morning here on the East Coast. The big headline, global markets are taking a beating, and it's all thanks to President Donald Trump's latest trade gambit. On April 5th, he slapped a 10% tariff on all U.S. imports, calling it Liberation Day. Well, the markets didn't feel very liberated. They felt like they'd been liberated from gains. Last night, U.S. stock futures tanked. The S&P 500 dropped 4%. The NASDAQ slid 4.3%, and the Dow shed 3.7%. Asia didn't waste any time joining the party. The Hang Sen's down a jaw-dropping 13%. Nikkei's off 7, almost 8%. The Shenzhen's taking a beating at 9, almost 10%. It's like the world's markets decided to have a collective garage sale, and everything is priced to move, folks. Trump's not backing down either. He's out there telling folks that the markets need to take their medicine, which sounds like something my grandma used to say when she made me eat her prune loaf. Meanwhile, China's not sitting idly by. They fired back with 34% tariffs on U.S. goods, set to kick in on April 10th. Canada is jumping into slapping duties on American vehicle imports, and the EU is warming up in the bullpen, eyeing a retaliatory tariffs on up to $28 billion of U.S. goods. It's a trade war free for all, folks, and the only winners so far seem to be the folks selling gold and silver. More on that a bit later. Closer to home, the weather's not just messy here in DC. Strong storms battered Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky yesterday, leaving flooding worries in their wake. School districts down there are closed or delayed today. So if you're tuning in from Nashville, I hope you've got a boat handy. On a lighter note, let's give a shout out to the entertainment world. Sailors, Moon's robotic animals and amusement park battles are lighting up Toonami. The Snowman's album, Best 2020-2025, just dropped on Spotify. At least someone's having a good day. Over on Capitol Hill, things are as chaotic as a 3-ring circus. The Senate pulled an all-nighter on Saturday, passing a budget blueprint, 51-48, to push Trump's agenda. Thanks tax cuts, border security, and energy policy. It's got $3.8 trillion in tax breaks and a measly $4 billion in spending cuts, which has some Republicans like Josh Hawley grumbling about Medicaid getting the short end of the stick. Only Rand Paul and Susan Collins said no, thanks. But now it's off to the House, where the Speaker, Mike Johnson's got a tighter rope to walk than a circus tightrope artist. The House GOP's earlier plan had bigger cuts, $1.5 trillion, including $880 billion that hit Medicaid hard. But the Senate softened it up a bit. Hardline conservatives aren't happy, and with the slim majority, Johnson's juggling more drama than a reality TV show. The tariff mess is stirring the pot, too. Last week, the Senate voted to kill Trump's emergency declaration on fentanyl trafficking, which used to justify his 25% tariff on Canada. 4 Republicans, Mitch McConnell, Rand Paul, Susan Collins, and Lisa Murkowski, teamed up with the Democrats to say enough. Senators Maria Cantwell and Chuck Grassley are pushing a bill to claw back Trump's trade powers. And in the House, Nebraska's Don Bacon's got a matching plan. Both chambers are racing against a May 9th deadline to sort out the budgets. But with markets tanking and Trump's tariffs in the spotlight, it's anybody's guess if they can pull it off. Let's zoom out to Asia, where the stock markets are looking like they've been through a blender. Shanghai's down 7%. The Nikkei down. Everything's down. It's bleeding. Bloodbath everywhere. Taiwan's down almost 10%. Even the sturdy Aussies on the ASX 200 are down 4.2%. Is this the bottom, or are we headed lower? Well, the markets don't exactly send you a text saying buy now, but these drops are so steep that they're practically screaming panic. Some indices like the Nikkei and the Kospi saw tiny bounces off their lows, maybe 3.5% or so, hinting at bargain hunters tiptoeing in. Historically, one-day plunges like this can signal a short-term floor. Think 1987 or 2020's COVID crash. But with Trump and China trading tariff punches, the uncertainty is thicker than the DC fog. If Wall Street follows Asia's lead when it opens at 9:30, we could see more pain. Shanghai might hit 2,900, Nikkei 30,000, Hang Seng 1,800. Buckle up, folks. So the Dow's implied opening, just so we're all on the same page here. So we're currently down about 1,000 points, 959, 2.5%. Implied opening is down 949, and that would be 38,520. Things are moving around a bit this morning. It was at like 14, down 1,400 before, so 959 is a move in the right direction. I do think, though, as well as the crypto markets, to be completely frank, of course, we trade all the time, and this is this would be, it doesn't mean it is, but this is indicative of markets prepping to open, and they want everybody to try to jump in where they can, try to jump in high before it goes lower. If the markets open up like they are, this much lower, 3% off, 2.5% off, I think the crypto markets and everything will tank along with it. Who knows? It's anybody's game out there. Speaking of currency, the yen's flexing its muscles against the dollar. The US dollar Japan yen is at 145.89, which is down nearly 1% or up for the yen. That's got folks asking if the yen carry trade is unwinding. For the uninitiated, that's when you borrow cheap yen with lower interest rates to buy higher yielding stuff elsewhere. And that's what investors do around the world. Okay. Borrow the yen with very low interest rates and then use that to invest elsewhere. Okay. So if the yen is getting stronger, then of course that makes that borrowing not as advantageous. A stronger yen squeezes that game. And with the Nikkei tanking, it's looking like some players are cashing out. The yen's up 13% since March, and the Bank of Japan is tightening the screws. Rates hit 0.5% last week, up from 0.1% a year ago. That's 5x, folks. A stronger yen. The yen is up, bump. Governor Kazuo Umeda hinting at more rate hikes if inflation nears 2%. And there's talk of stealth interventions to prop up the yen. No confirmation yet, but with the Golden Week coming, a 1% move in thin trading got conspiracy theorists buzzing. The BOJ, Bank of Japan, shifting gears. Less about cheap exports, more about stability. Keep an eye on 144. 144. If that breaks, we might see a carry trade stampede. Ooh, and if that happens, folks, that's going to be ugly. Oil's taking a dive too at $59.47 a barrel. First time it's been below $60 a barrel since the COVID baloney. Down 4% today after a 7% drop yesterday. The lowest in over 3 years. What's behind it? The trade war spooking demands. HSBC just slashed its 2025 forecast to 0.9 million barrels a day, and OPEC shocked everyone by bumping output to 411,000 barrels starting in May. Not the planned 135. That's a massive jump from 135 barrels a day to 411 barrels a day. OPEC shocked everyone, okay, by bumping the output. Add recession vibes, low consumer confidence, Asia's market rout, and Fed Chairman Jerome Powell saying tariffs still slow growth, and you've got a recipe for cheap crude. Sub $50 a barrel? Not impossible. Scott Shelton from United ICAP says mid-50s are near term if demand keeps crumbling, but OPEC might pump the brakes if it gets too ugly. Saudi Arabia needs $80 oil to sleep easy. Watch this week's shows as we keep up with this. The dollar's feeling the heat too. The DXY is at 102.80. The DXY is the US dollar traded against a basket of different currencies. It's down 0.22%. The yen's stealing safe haven thunder, and the Fed rate cut bets 50 basis points by May are denting its shine. Powell's tariff talk yesterday on Friday didn't help, hinting at softer policy ahead. Maybe. Will it slide more or bounce back? Global chaos usually lifts the dollar. Think 2022, 114 we were at, 0.78 peak. But if Wall Street stabilizes at open, it could claw back to 103. If not, 101.50 is in sight. It's a coin toss, but the yen is the one to watch. Futures are bleeding out. Dow futures 37,115 down. Well, actually, that's now updated. Dow futures are down 923, 37,607. Jim, things are popping here. The S&P 500 futures down 2.25% at 49.93, and the NASDAQ futures down 2.48% at 104. One thing's for sure, I would say with very good confidence, today is going to continue to be bloody in the stock markets. This does imply that we're not done. JP Morgan's pegging a 60% recession chance, up from 40%. Is the end near? The VIX hit 40 yesterday. It's Panic City, but can that mean a bounce is brewing? S&P's 17% off from its February peak, flirting with bear territory. NASDAQ is in bear territory. A Fed cut or tariff truce could stop the bleed, but Trump's hang tough post on social media says don't hold your breath. Trump's tariff tantrums in the headline. He's shrugging off the chaos, saying sometimes you got to take the medicine to fix something. Over 50 countries want exemptions, but he's not blinking. Ted Cruz warns of a 2026 GOP bloodbath if this flops. And Hakeem Jeffries sees $2,100 extra per family. Europe's reeling. U.S. banks down 5%, and Australia's prime minister is ticked that their exports are getting hit. It's a global dumpster fire, folks, and Trump's pouring the gas. Elon Musk stirring the pot, too. Yesterday in Italy, he broke with Trump, pushing zero tariffs with Europe. Navarro sniped back on Fox, saying Elon's great in his dog lane. Musk had a rough week, $25 million down the drain in Wisconsin Supreme Court race. And Tesla's sales are off 13% in Q1, while rivals soar 60%. Doge exit rumors are swirling. Trump says soon. Musk calls it fake news, but Tesla stocks pop 6% on that news. He's juggling more than a circus clown on a unicycle. The Ukraine war is heating up. Russia hit Kiev Sunday with missiles and drones, killing 1, injuring 7. Friday, Ria strike took 19 lives, including 9 kids. Oof. Zelensky blasting the U.S. for a weak response. Zelensky pushing for ceasefire as Putin drops 600-pound bombs weekly. 600 bombs weekly. Trump's ceasefire push is stalling. Putin's not biting, and Rubio says we'll know soon if he's serious. Russia's drafting 160,000 more troops, and NATO's on the edge. Poland scrambled the jets yesterday. Putin is the puppet master here. Trump's pissed off over ceasefire snub, and Russia's oddly tariff-free amid the trade mess. X is buzzing about his inner circle, but nothing solid. He's betting big on outlasting everyone, and it has worked so far. That has how the Putin has, it's how he rolls, right? Hello, Michael. Thank you, sir. Shining brighter every day. Always a pleasure to see you, brother. Look forward to getting together when I'm back in Dubai, seeing you face to face. In Gaza, Israel strikes killed 15 medics on Saturday. It was unbelievable. If you've watched that clip, the IDF said, oh no, they were unmarked and they didn't have their lights on and everything else. And there's all this video footage. Lights were on. They were wearing all the stuff. And they just, by all appearances, just assassinated all of them. Or most of them, all of them, I think, maybe. UN experts call it genocidal, targeting fertility centers, using sexual violence as a strategy. Trump's Riviera plan to displace Palestinians is labeled ethnic cleansing by the UN, with 40,000 fleeing the West Bank camps since January. Much more than that. Protest rage, ceasefire is dead right now. And the ICC, the International Criminal Court, wants Netanyahu. It's a humanitarian nightmare spilling into the markets. Oil's down and the yen is up. That situation over there could tee off at any moment. At any moment. That situation over there we could be in World War III faster than you can say it. U.S. troops in the Middle East. We've got 43,000 to 50,000. These are the public numbers. 2,500 in Iraq, 900 in Syria, 13,500 in Kuwait, plus carriers like the Lincoln and Truman with 14,000 sailors. March saw a few thousand more added, F-15s, F-22s to back Israel. I was reading there's a 300,000 rumor going around, but that does not appear to be correct. 50,000 to 65,000 with contractors, from what I'm seeing is closer to the truth. It is a powder keg tied to the market jitters. Gold is at 3,042, up 0.22%. Silver, 30.09, up 2.96%. Safe haven stars in this storm. A rebound. Markets are oversold. S&P's RSI sub 30, but tariffs and no Fed cut say more pain first. Emergency Fed cut. Emergency U.S. banking cartel. The Federal Reserve cut talk. Interest rate cut. Is there going to be an emergency interest rate cut? I don't think so. And, I just don't see it happening. Jerome Powell, the banking cartel doesn't want to do it. The Federal Reserve, Jerome came out and, everybody blames Jerome, but he's just the mouthpiece, okay? There's the rest of the team behind him, right? You got the Rothschilds and all them. I don't think we're going to see an emergency rate cut. Could be wrong. Next data point is going to be May 2nd. And if those job numbers come in, under 100,000, we're expecting it 220,000. If those job numbers come in around 100, I think we could see a emergency rate cut. But other than that, I just don't see it. And that's a month off, folks. Crypto's burning. Crypto is burning. Although we had a nice little rally since this morning. I woke up very early, actually. Bitcoin currently is at 77,300, and this is after reaching 74,600 this morning. So 70, almost 3,000, almost $3,000 difference there, and that's like about a 5% move at 77. So that's a big move. If at open we could see a big drop again and test 70,000, okay, but we might not. I mean, it's these markets are very emotional. We'll have to see. If the stock market tanks, then 70,000. If it opens up okay, I think we could continue pushing up, but it's really hard to say right now. AI news: DeepMind's AGI by 2030 existential crisis alert. AI stocks are tariff casualties. I hear people are saying more and more that this stuff is it's overvalued. We'll see. That's the opener, folks. I have with me here a recording from our good friend, the great Matt Dixon. As we do when he is unable to join the show. And here we go with the Market Watch segment of the show with Matt Dixon.
Good morning, Bruce. Good morning, Impact Money viewers. What a day, what a weekend it's been with the fallout from these Trump tariffs. Seen a massive 13.22% fall on the Hang Seng Index. Indices around the world tumbling. And I actually said I was on a show, Crypto Town Hall show on Friday, and I said that it was amazing the resilience we saw with Bitcoin, but I did say there was going to be some follow through, and the cryptocurrencies were going to catch up, unfortunately, to the downside, which is precisely what's happened over the weekend. So we have seen, as we can see here on the chart now, I'm showing Solana, we've actually seen it's reached, it actually just surpassed its right now, bang on my downside target, or my initial downside target. Now, I actually think that we probably have maybe a little bit of respite right now, but I think there's probably another low to come. The reason I say that, I was looking at correlations, and one of the clearest assets that I've seen is Toncoin. Now, I'll just scroll out a little bit, maybe go to the daily on Toncoin to show you what my expectation is there. So from this, we had an A wave down from the top, a B wave higher, which didn't clear 3 waves higher there. Then I think the C wave is going to complete the C wave of the B wave is going to complete. C waves are in 5 waves. So basically, we're in red. We've got wave 1 down, 2 down, 3 down, and the third wave itself is made up of 5 waves. So we can see that in the blue here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that third wave is clearly complete. And then we've got an ABC higher for the 4th wave, which took us roughly into territory of the previous 4th wave of lesser degree, which is good from Elliott wave perspective. Yeah, and it didn't cross over into the territory of wave one, so it's perfect. And then we headed sharply and impulsively to the downside, but I'm convinced, really confident that we have more downside to come to complete this final fifth wave. But that will be really good news, I believe, because I think that following that, we're going to push to new all-time highs. So I've said for the past few shows, I've talked about Toncoin, and I've said it's one of my favorite coins, one that I'll be looking to load up with, but not yet. I'm looking to go lower than the previous low here, which was, just looking, it was around 2.34. I'm looking to dip just a little bit lower than that. And that will be the area I'll be looking to dollar cost average into Toncoin. And I think that most assets are going to be correlated with it. So I just think this is an opportunity. If you've been listening to the shows, I've been saying not a time to go long. You could potentially go short, but I was actually keeping my powder dry and saying I'm expecting higher in the markets to come, but not yet. So basically wait to buy those dips. And we're certainly seeing some serious dips. So if we go over to the main one, first of all, Bitcoin, of course, I've said the line in the sand was 69,000. The reason I said that, if we scroll out a little bit, we can probably see it, was the top of the previous bull market, 69,000. That was before we fell to the FTX low of 15.5K. But it's in a very clear ABC movement to the downside. So we were expecting 5 waves to the upside from the FTX low, precisely what we're seeing. Beautiful alternation here between wave 2 and wave 4. You can see the difference in the structure there. Very complex, sideways, choppy wave 4 there. Quite a short wave 2, much smaller in magnitude. And this is what you'd expect from an Elliott wave perspective. You expect to see alternation between wave 2 and wave 4. It's not an absolute rule, but it's a guideline. And when you see it, it gives you confidence that you're on the right track. And so we've seen wave 1, wave 2, wave 3 was extended again. Nice Elliott wave guideline there. The wave 3 was, I'll just check while we're at it, see if there's any relationship there, Fibonacci relationship. So what I do, I measure wave 1 from the top, bottom of wave 1 there. Then I just transpose that to wave 2. And no, there wasn't a relationship, not a specific relationship for wave 3, but it was well past 1.618. It's well past, in fact, 2.618. So it was a really nicely extended wave for wave 3. In this choppy wave 4, we've got another quite large wave 5 to the upside, which itself appears to be made up of 5 waves. I haven't got it labeled, but you can probably see if you look carefully from wave 4 here. We've got a 1 up, 2 down, 3 up, 4 down, and 5 up to the all-time high for Bitcoin of 109,000. And then I'll probably go back to the 4-hour right now to show, just to open it out a little bit, to show you where we're at. So that was the wave 5 we're just talking about. And you can see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this corrective move. And I just don't think that we're yet complete. I think it's quite a complex one, but as I say, the line in the sand is 69,000. Now, if we were to dip below 69, that would change my outlook quite a lot, and I'd actually become quite bearish. But at the moment, I still hold a bullish bias, even though the markets are collapsing at the moment. It was fully expected. So if you've been listening to the show, you'd have known that we're not expecting any upward movement anytime soon. We expect probably further downward movement. As I say, Toncoin is the one that is really showing that with clarity as far as I'm concerned. So when we dip nearer these lows, I'll be looking to stock up on a lot of cryptos, a lot of risk assets that I think are going to go a lot higher. And I do still think that we're going to reach those all-time highs. So we will exceed the 69,000 for Bitcoin. Now, Ethereum was one. Again, it's one of my least favored tokens, but again, we actually labeled it well in advance, expecting the downside to come, and precisely what's happened. So we can see, again, I showed these consolidation areas. I showed this consolidation, the last one here, between the Y and the X. And I said, from there, we expect an A, B, C, which would be a Y wave to the downside. Well, it's actually a Z wave. Now, it could theoretically be complete here, because the Y wave, or sorry, the Z wave in this case, needs to be made up of 3 waves, A, B, and C. And the C wave, I would expect to go beyond the end of this A wave, which it has done. So actually, technically speaking, it's potentially complete. But as I say, when I look at correlations across the board, particularly with Toncoin, I still think we probably have lower to go. And actually, to kind of match the magnitude of these previous falls, we had a fall here, consolidation, fall, consolidation, fall, consolidation, fall, consolidation. The fall probably has a bit further to go. I mean, it doesn't have to match precisely, but you tend to get a nice look to these corrections. So I do suspect that we've got further to go down, just looking at this, let alone the correlations that we have. Litecoin, of course, has been absolutely hammered. But again, if we scroll out a little bit, I'm probably expecting more downside to come, I think, for Litecoin. It's not absolutely clear, but I do think there's probably, hopefully we won't breach that support, that long-held support there at 51. I'm hoping we don't, but there's potential. It could drop a little bit lower, but again, I'm still bullish Litecoin longer term. Now, if we move over to things like oil, this oil has been absolutely collapsing, and the reason for that is these Trump tariffs are basically, at the moment, killing off world trade. Now, some people have got different views, saying long term, even Trump says you've got to suffer the pain, you've got to take the medicine, and long term it's going to be good for you. Suffer the pain. Well, there seriously is pain. It's slowing the world economies, and it's hitting the oil price. So oil price now 59. I've been speaking to people in the industry who know a lot more than I do, talking about oil price. They're saying that we're heading to $40. If we head to $40, that means the world economy is slowing more. It means more pain for risk assets, but it's actually a good sign for inflation. With lower oil prices, it means the price of production and transport and all those things is going to be much, much cheaper. And so potentially that's good for inflation. So even though growth is falling off a cliff, and it's going to kill world growth, these tariffs, I think, but inflation is going to be falling. So it actually gives room for, at some point, to lower interest rates. Now, talking of interest rates, I'm just going to flip over to this CME FedWatch tool. Really interesting. We've seen only a few days ago, about a week ago, there's 85% chance rates were going to stay on hold at the next meeting. It's now almost 50-50. So there's chances of a rate cut are getting greater and greater and greater. And actually, the fact that oil prices are falling and that assets are tumbling, etc., as long as inflation is going to stay subdued, and as I say, with oil price falling, that actually means there's going to be less pressure on inflation. In fact, prices are potentially going to come down. So although tariffs raise prices, the point is, I've said this for some time actually, it also has a counter effect of slowing economies, so it actually reduces prices. So there's a counter effect there, a counterbalancing effect. So if we do see risk assets continue to fall, but oil continue to fall as well, it means that there'll be potential and be room for the Fed, the FOMC, at the next meeting, which is only May the 7th, we're not that far away now, potentially to cut rates. Now, if they get a rate cut next meeting, that could be absolutely amazing. Or if they signal a rate cut, and let's just check where we're at with June, what the odds there. So right now, the odds are 42% chance of a 25 basis point cut. There's actually the bigger chance is for a 50 basis point cut in June. So if they don't cut in May, they're talking about there's a fair chance of a 50 basis point, 0.5% cut in June. And they're even talking about there's a 5.5% chance of a 3/4 percentage point cut, 75 basis points. That's unlikely, but it just shows you how the situation's changing very, very quickly, and moving over towards lower interest rates, easy monetary policy to try to stimulate the economy, because this is horrendous. I mean, as I say, 13% in one day. We now have the Hang Seng is actually in bear market territory. We have the Nikkei in bear market territory, and the indices around the world are all heading towards bear market territory, where they lost more than 20% in no time at all. So this is a very, very nasty situation that we're in at the moment. So if we just switch over to the SPX, just look at the pain we see here for SPX. Again, we've been predicting it. So this wave C is made up of 5 waves. We've got wave 1 down, 2 up, looking at 3 down. I don't think it's finished yet, and there's still 4 and 5 to go down. So right now we're massively oversold. We may get a bit of short-term recovery. So if this is a wave 3, potentially, and we've already surpassed 2.618 times wave one, so it's already a nicely extended wave. We could go further, and we've even got a gap to the downside, but at some point we'll get a minor recovery, then another push down to finish off. So if we scroll out a little bit to show you actually where we're at on this recovery, that's the all-time high that we had for the SPX, the S&P 500. That's the A wave, that's the B wave, and we're looking at C wave. Let's just see, C wave, we potentially, if you got the C wave, could easily be 1.618 times the A wave. So I'll just show you where that would be. That's at this level here. So that's 4,700. We're 4,900 now. So that would be not much lower to go, but we could extend further. We could definitely go further. I mean, the next one after that, next obvious choice would be the 4.236 extension, which would be 4,400. So still probably plenty of pain ahead for the markets. Let's just look at the safe haven. If I can find it, well, actually, before I do, actually, surprisingly, dollar yen has stayed really stable. That's quite a surprise in itself. We've seen actually the dollar picking up a little bit, and actually that when there's real turmoil in the markets, people actually do sell risk assets, and they do actually go into what safe haven, which is US Treasuries, and that's probably why we're seeing at the moment a little bit of strength in the US dollar. So if I just look at gold, even gold is being hit. Yeah, again, we kind of expected that. We're saying we've basically got an ABC down, we've got an ABC higher, so we're expecting a further ABC down. Maybe it's a WXY correction, but I still think we're probably not that far away from a turnaround. And I will probably be looking at, again, I think buying the dips is a good strategy, particularly for gold here. I think we're going to see a major rebound. I do think that we need to be stocking up on gold, because if there's turmoil ahead, even if we get the rally that I believe we're going to get to take us to new all-time highs, after that rally, we're in for some more troublous times. There's going to be, if you think this is a major sell-off, and it isn't, this is just a nasty, painful little sell-off. This isn't the major crash that people were predicting. And I've seen some interviews. There's a major crash, I believe, to come. And I think a lot of the top commentators are saying there's a major crash to come, but it's not yet. This is just an uncomfortable situation that I think is going to finish off with a nice rise to new all-time highs. But that's the time we need to look for ways to secure our assets, basically safe havens. So at that point, but at the moment, as I say, I think we've got further to dip, but I will be looking and I will be presenting my favored crypto picks for the coming rally that I believe is to come. So again, this kind of looks pretty clear to me that this is corrective against the downside. This is XRP, sorry, this one. So this is corrective to the downside for XRP. I do think it's got higher to go. Gold, sorry, I was getting mixed up there. Gold actually is still a similar picture, corrective picture to the downside. So, you know, what I said still holds true. That basically from the all-time high there, we've got an A, a B, and we're pushing down to C, and I think we've got lower to go still before we potentially turn back higher. So we've covered gold in a lot of detail, and as I say, on this fractal, I said we're about to finish the wave 5, and we're going to get a decent correction from there, which is precisely what's happening. So again, we've been bang on the money there. Here we are at the bigger time scale, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 5th wave. Here, the 5th of the 5th. It's actually 5th, the 5th, the 5th. So we're expecting probably some more downside for gold, but it's not the end of the day for gold. As I say, I think it's just an opportunity to stock up and basically add to your holding of gold. If we just scroll out even longer, I might even need to go to a longer time frame. Probably I'll go to daily just to see. Yeah, that's clearer. So we can see there, I've got basically a 1 to finish the wave 3 in blue. So we've got wave 4 in blue. It could go down quite a bit further. So we could be headed for quite a bit of pain with this correction we're having, this nasty market correction we're having. But then I do think that we've got, following that, we'll push up higher again to new all-time highs. So any serious pullbacks are opportunities to buy, I think. It's actually quite interesting. I saw, I'll go back to the 4-hour here, One Harmony, just for it's kind of a bit of fun, I suppose. It was absolutely did exactly what was expected. The other day we had a bit of a rally in One Harmony, but again, you can see every one of these candlesticks is almost identical in size, and it just continues. It's basically automated trading, market maker activity. Even in a market crash, nothing's happening. It's just the same size. So it's not one that I would touch because there's no decent liquidity there. Toncoin, as I say, we've looked at that already. I still think there's probably lower to go below this low here. So that's why I still think there's more pain ahead for us with these markets. Everything else, actually, look at this, absolutely crackers. Would you believe it? Fartcoin is rallying at the moment, up 7%. The only one I know. Oh, actually, this is just, sorry, the recent, we've just had a little bit of a turnaround in the markets. As I said, I thought we might get a bit of respite in the markets, but I'm pretty sure it's going to continue lower again later this week. But Fartcoin, being the most volatile, crazy asset of them all at the moment, is actually rallying the hardest. So these sort of really speculative assets, when markets turn around, even for a little while, they rally more, but when they fall, they usually fall more. So that's a bit of a crazy one. So we're seeing Solana still sitting on that 100 level. That was my long-term target. If you're a dollar cost average person, it's not a bad idea to maybe buy some, but I still think it's going lower. But I would hate to miss out. So it's good to maybe just have a little bit of exposure possibly. And then probably I'll finish on Jasmy, which again, we expected it to go lower. It's precisely what's happened. There's no particular divergences in place now. Let me just put this line on here and here to see what we have. Okay, we do actually have some divergence. So short term, you can see that we've got basically lower lows on price and higher lows on RSI. That's telling us we're probably going to get some short-term upside. So whilst all this pessimism now, and it basically people, this is fear and greed. If I was to look it up, I won't bother right now, but fear and greed is probably pretty negative right now, pretty fearful. The community are probably pretty fearful, but I think that now is the time maybe for a bit of a respite, bit of a bounce in the markets, but there's still another push lower to come, I believe. So yeah, looking at the market, it's still very negative, but I think we'll get a short-term little push higher before lower. But I'm certainly not looking at any building any major positions yet, but maybe just dip your toe in the water with a bit of dollar cost averaging right now. I wouldn't be selling short right now after such an aggressive fall over the weekend. As I say, I still think there's more selling to come, maybe later this week, and that would be an opportunity to probably then do some more dollar cost average buying. And yeah, I think there'll be lots of opportunities ahead. So as I say, I hope that you followed our advice, because this is entirely what was expected with the markets. Trump coin, by the way, is yet again, it tested quite a bit lower, around $7, and it's been nothing but pain really for anyone involved in Trump coin. If I go on, oh, that's the weekly, probably not the best one to show you, but it does show you the virtually ever since the launch on ever since the launch on Binance from here, we've got a pump in price with Binance. Obviously Binance probably allegedly cashed out a lot of money from it, and it's all those retail holders who are the ones suffering, carrying the bag as the price goes down and down and down and down. So very nasty one there for people, anyone involved. But again, everyone knows it's a meme coin. Everyone knows it's highly risky. But I know a lot of Trump followers got involved with that. Unfortunately, they've been burnt. But yeah, we know the score. We know it was a meme coin, and just for a bit of play money, I guess. And maybe time for a bit of play money to jump into some of these things, but only play money that you're prepared to lose. So again, just to conclude for the day, let's hope things pick up a little bit. I think we'll get a little bit of respite from now throughout the rest of the day, but there's still more downside to come, I believe. So short one today. Hope that's helpful and useful, and look forward to catching up tomorrow. Thanks so much for listening, everybody, and bye for now.
Well, there you have it, guys. The great Matt Dixon with the Market Watch report, world-class analysis that we give on the show daily, Monday through Friday. The comments coming in pretty funny. Fartcoin is a hedge. It's a hedge currently. Folks are riding their emotions rather than calmness. Susan Van Shake, St. Laurent. Yeah, that's the way it goes. I do think that Matt, I agree with Matt's assessment that we are probably going lower. You never know with these things, okay? But the targets that we hit, that we have set, he mentioned his initial target for Solana was hit, but our targets on Bitcoin have not been hit yet. So could turn around early, but my experience, and it sounded like obviously Matt agreed with me, we have a little bit further to go. Probably 73 to that 69 range, 69 to 73,000 on Bitcoin. I know that's a big range, but that's the levels I'm looking for. And you mentioned we don't want to go below 69,000 we don't want to end the day on it. That's for sure. Anyway, markets are going to open down again, folks. Let's see here, just as I sign off. We are, though, I mean, the Dow futures were down about 1,400 points. They're now down about 753. So that is a big gain heading into the opener. So as Matt mentioned, we could get a nice little rebound here across the board. Totally possible. You can ride the waves if you are so inclined to do that. I rode the waves down with some shorts, and then I closed those early in the morning or late night, however you want to, middle of the night. And I am sitting here with dry powder right now, waiting for the move, and paying deposits and all that good stuff. So that's it for me today, guys. It is always a pleasure. Thanks for the comments, guys. We like those a lot. And if you have certain assets that you want us to check out, let us know. We'll be back tomorrow. If you haven't signed up yet for 2Bit Exchange, wonderful exchange, very good exchange. They have great derivatives platform as well. Sign up, use code IMPACTMONEY for some special giveaways and stuff like that. Cheers.
Hey, Randy, I got another home run for us, man. This 2Bit exchange is absolutely amazing.
Hey, Bruce, what's up, man? Yeah, why don't you tell me about that 2Bit exchange?
Yeah, that's right. And we're going to be able to list our coins that we want, that we support, and they're going to be on this amazing derivatives platform. It's absolutely awesome.
Derivatives? I love derivatives. I can't wait to be on the trade copy program.
So what I want you to do is set up an account and then send me your UID, and let's set you up with a trade copy system, and you just let it run. Copy our trades. That's it. Easy peasy.
So you want me to open an account, send you my user ID, and you hook me up with the trade copy system. I can't wait. Sounds spectacular.
Hey, Matt. Hey, listen, I met with the guys at 2Bit Exchange while I was in Dubai, and this platform really looks amazing.
Yeah, hi Bruce. Yeah, thank you again for that heads up. I mean, I've looked into this 2Bit platform. It does appear to have everything we're looking for.
Yeah, that's right. 2Bit, Toobit. They have great liquidity. They have futures platform. There's a lot of functionality that I think you're going to like on there. And they really want to work with us. They want to work with the Impact Money Show. And as you and I both know, if they have a good product and they want to work with us, well, hey, that's half the battle.
I mean, basically, I love that copy trade facility. I love the features on the platform. It's basically very simple to use.
Our viewers only need to set it up to copy our trades, and they just do all the trades that we do. Makes it really easy for people to participate. I think they're going to love it. I'm pretty excited about it.
And yeah, it's definitely going to benefit people. I mean, obviously with all the years of experience that we can pack into it, and people can basically benefit from that. Yeah, I definitely think it's a goer.
Hey, David. Yeah, man, I'm excited about it too. I mean, when you think of the ways that we can help our viewers earn money and be able to participate in the monetary revolution, this 2Bit platform just opens up all kinds of doors that they don't have right now.
Hey, Bruce, I'm checking out this platform. It's revolutionary.
That's absolutely correct. And the futures platform is amazing. Great liquidity. And the copy trader program, people are going to be able to make the trades exactly when we make them and make the money that we make. It's a win-win for everybody.
Open for U.S. customers, and you can deposit money with the credit or debit card. Doesn't get better than this.
Beautiful. And what do you think we should use as a referral code?
I think we should use Impact Money. That's the one. Impact Money.